Hey everybody, my name is Buddy Blackford and I will be teaching you about Adobe After Effects. The version of Adobe After Effects I'm using right now is CS6, you can see there, and I couldn't figure out how to get that off, jeez. And basically this first tutorial is going to be a small introduction. I'd like to introduce you to the workspace and what I like to have my workspace set up and everything like that. And then I'll teach you more in a series of tutorials later. So, starting as the workspace, this whole area is called your workspace. And if you go to Window, you have workspace here, and there are different types of workspaces. You can create your own, and you can have the standard one. I created my own, and I like to use that one, and I'll show you different ways to tweak them also. So over here on your left, that I have highlighted right here, this is the project panel. You can import videos, pictures, folders, and your compositions will appear here, and then you can also search for the different folders with your composition, because when you get on larger projects you'll have a lot of stuff in here. Over here in the middle, this is the composition panel. This is where any of your video and or pictures will show up, and then you can see how the effects work on them and see what they look like. Down here at the bottom is the timeline panel. Your different layers and effects will be shown here, and there is a timeline that will actually show up in this area, and you can scrub back and forth in it. Over here on this side is the effects and presets panel. It froze. Oh, it's unfroze. And right here you can find your different effects. So if you type in something like blur, you can say here's the presets, and then here's your actual effects, and then you can drag them onto your different video footage or pictures, and to create cool looking stuff. Here's the paragraph panel, and the way you get to that is going to Window, Paragraph. If you click on it, it'll go away. Then you click on it again, which it shouldn't be enabled if you first started After Effects. So you click on it and then it'll appear. And a lot of the times if you're doing commercials, you're going to be writing text, and it'll be in there, and that is very helpful to have. I don't know why they don't have it in there to start with, but I would recommend putting it in over there. This is your preview panel, and this is where you can do what they call RAM previews, or you can just do regular previews, and it'll show you your video footage in order, so you can see how your effects are going to play out, and make sure you can get your timing and animation looking nice. Up here is the info audio panel, and pretty much I never use this unless I need to find like a color or coordinates or something like that, and mostly if I'm doing audio I do it in a different program, but you can also do it in After Effects, and it's not that bad to do it, but I just basically don't use this whole section a lot. Up here is the tools panel. You have different things like zooming and rotating, and you can select your text from here. Most of the time when you get good, you're gonna not really use this too much. You're gonna want to use your hotkeys, because that speeds up your work way faster. So that's just a basic overview of the area of the screen. Just wanted to too. So I hope you guys continue to watch and check out my next video. See ya. Hey everybody, what is going on? My name is Buddy Blackford, and welcome to the second After Effects tutorial. Today in this tutorial we're going to be learning a little bit about the preferences. I'll pull up my preferences so you can see what you should possibly have, but it will differ for everybody. It depends on how your computer is, and then I'll give you a little bit of tips, and then possibly go over the tools panel if we have enough time up here, and I'll let you know like the hotkeys and stuff. So the first thing we're going to go to is edit preferences, and then you can just go to general. That'll be the starting point. The first thing you want to do in like any program is set up your preferences, or else everything's going to be all screwed up, and it's going to be a little harder to work, or things are going to be slow, or you can't see things, whatever. you get the drift. Okay, so you can check out here, and you can, if you want to, you can pause the video and make sure that you have these ones checked here. Most of these are default. It saves your preferences, so I'm not sure which ones really were default, but I definitely unchecked show tooltips because I got sick of that popping up every time. Okay, we'll go to previews, and I left everything how it was here. This is all default. Here's the display. Here's the import. And it might be a little boring going through these, so maybe I'll tell a little story while I'm doing it about this woodchuck encounter I had today. So just pause the video if you want to do the checks, like set up your check boxes or your times or whatever, or I'll just go slow enough that you can actually do it within the time as I'm telling the story and everything, so you can hear it. So we went to the store, to this farm, and I had to smash fence posts in to build a fence for cows so they didn't get out. And we're just smashing away, and all of a sudden this woodchuck comes running out of nowhere, and I yell to the guy I'm working with, "Hey, there's a woodchuck coming after you," and he just runs away screaming like it was funny. I don't know, he just ran away screaming. And that story wasn't as funny as I thought it was gonna be, but I guess it'll have to suffice for now because that's all I can think of. So here we got the median disk cache here. Every once in a while you might want to empty the disk cache. It basically speeds up After Effects every once in a while if it gets all like slow on you. If that's something you can try to speed it up. And normally when you choose a choose your folder for your cache to go to, you want to usually go to the SSD. So I could make one on my SSD, and new folder, AE temp, and I can select that, hit OK, and now it'll go to my SSD and it'll be a lot faster. These I just left the same. Video preview, I left this how it was. Appearance, and I left this how it was also. Most of the preferences you can just leave how they are. I'm pretty sure autosave isn't turned on, so you may want to check autosave projects, and I put every 10 minutes. I have found that works pretty well, because sometimes 10 minutes of work is a lot of stuff, and if you've animated like 100 points or something like that, or put a bunch of effects on, and you're not going to remember, and your computer just randomly crashes for no reason, then you will be happy that the autosave is there. Also, you want to always save like all the time. Like anytime there's a star up here, it means your project isn't saved. So you can see it up here by the name. Hit Control S, or you can go to File and then Save. But that's one of the things that you always want to do, and you'll learn it once your computer program crashes a few times, because it always happens. Here's multiprocessing, and I like to turn mine on. I have 8 cores in my CPU, and it's one of the AMD 8-core somethings or another. So I reserved 2 for the other applications, and then had 2 gigabytes. So this usually helps me render faster, but just so you know, not all the time does it render faster. So this helps most of the time, but not all the time. And here's audio. I didn't mess with this. Here's more audio. I didn't mess with that either. So I'll hit OK.